His grip on her arm was like a vice. His expression was blank. It made him frightened. Muskrat followed behind, barking like she was trying to warn him of something. In the open air, the world was normal. The strange sensation she'd had before already seemed like a bad dream or an accident. Timothy's reaction was the only thing that made it frightening. He looked up, scanning the sky, then nodded to himself. Okay, Tiny, you and the furball head back home. I'll come back as soon as I can, she said. She didn't know why she wanted to reassure him. Okay. It was the way he said it, like his mind was already someplace else. This isn't difficult. Work. Teresa stepped back like she'd been slapped. So long as they didn't take you too far from the state building.
I see some cars.
He said he was, and that he learned things about himself that way. He hoped you would find use in the same independence and solitude. Solitude. He didn't know about Timothy then. There was nothing on any world. Actor and all the gates bake anyone that's too close. But I saw the data from when they did that. It wasn't this big. It wasn't even close. Emma sipped from her bowl, punched in a degree more, and lowered her voice. Did we make a play? Did we try to take the slow zone? If there was an attack planned, I didn't know about it, she said, but with a knot in her gut. She didn't think Saba would have put together something that audacious without her people. All right, motherfucker. You want to dance? Let's dance. She locked her targeting system onto the Laconia. Callisto fell away behind them, the surface glowing orange and gold where the drive blew, just where he wanted it to be. The Tempest followed in the way he'd expected it. His jaw ached from the thrust, and the juice running through his system made him feel like he'd had too much coffee and not enough at the same time. The Tempest was a massive ship, but the drive was powerful enough that inertia didn't matter much. The Storm was smaller, lighter, and less powerful, and while it was probably more maneuverable, that didn't help this time. If he was going to get Bobby through the eye of that particular needle, he had no degrees of freedom. They still had advantages, though. The main one being his flight plan for him had been to ride that gap where the difference put the Tempest in threat and the Storm just outside it. It was great in theory. Practice was more complicated, because they could still be overwhelmed. Would be. Fast movers, Casper gasped. That's a lot of them. Jillian coughed. It sounded painful. Alex half expected her to move to text communication, but Bobby's little ship hit her burn too, falling into the enemy's blind spot. Soon. It would all be over soon. And the Tempest curved in toward them and vanished as the new round still wasn't intuitive. If they had been doing what they appeared to be doing, running like hell and hoping to get to the gate and out of the system, it would have been a desperation move. The distance between Jupiter and the ring gate was vast, and the Storm was constrained by both its reaction force and the fragility of the bodies inside her, and the danger of screaming through the slow zone too fast without knowing the state of play on the inside. Alex would have had to make a braking turn before they reached the gate, and the Tempest would have caught them. If Bobby didn't come through, he could still held to pat him, he fought to get his breath back. He'd lost a couple of seconds. They couldn't afford that again. "What's the damage?" Jillian croaked out, but no one answered. The tight beam sprang to life. Bobby was checking in. "Need good news, Captain," Jillian said. Her face was shining with sweat. Alex waited with dread and hope. "Rennie's down. Ship and torpedo are both compromised," Bobby said. Her voice was strained, but with the calm professionalism of a woman in her natural environment.
Oh,
She'd
there's
have
actually
had the
some foreign
same
power
tone
in front.
if she just found a way to destroy her enemy or lost both her legs. "I need you to make the Tempest stop forever." Alex plodded in.
We got
and waited for Jillian.
3. Oh wow, there's. Don't you
Instead, she
shake the car.
"How?"
There's 3 NSs in the
"Give me a
middle
second,
section,
Bobby,"
and there's a UP
Alex
up
said.
front.
"I'll get you what you need." Burst of pride.
Yay! 3 foreign
She
power
was
units
great
on this
when She
train.
was learning. For almost
next
a
to all
minute,
them.
the two ships stood
We got 4677, 4658. Those two are brand new. 1815 SD70ACC.
Alex
Actually,
noticed he was
I missed that actual locomotive when we were out on Saturday, Sunday.
Shoot down as many as you can and return fire.
7893.
You ain't getting your middle
But
finger
do not
there.
change course and don't give them a reason to. Alex